Have you ever felt that sinking feeling around someone who drains your energy? Some people are just difficult. They're negative, critical, or even immoral. It could be a work colleague. It could be a family member. It's anyone you don't want to be around. The question is, how do you deal with these people without losing your mind? How do you protect your peace of mind and stay true to your values at the same time? Stoicism offers a powerful framework for navigating these relationships. Because, let's face it, you can't change other people, but you can change how you react to other people. You can set boundaries. You can choose your battles. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. How to deal with difficult and toxic people while leaving every option on the table. You might have someone in mind right now. Someone who you've never been able to get along with, who always causes headaches for you. But until now, you haven't done anything about it. The problem is, ignoring these signs is like letting a small leak turn into a flood. Early identification is your shield. So to start, focus on those relationships that are a constant drain. Think of the person who always finds fault, who manipulates to get their way, who thrives on drama. That's a signal. You've identified a problem and should act on it. Because now that you've identified your problem person, it's time to take the first concrete step toward protecting yourself. You can start by setting boundaries. It may sound too easy. But how many times have you let someone walk all over you, draining your energy, leaving you feeling less? That's what happens when boundaries are weak or non-existent. Think of them as invisible fences protecting your peace. A good fence keeps the bad stuff out, but still lets the sunshine in. A healthy boundary is clear, consistent, and communicated respectfully. No, I can't take on that extra project is a boundary. I need some quiet time after work is a boundary. Notice the I statements. This is your space. Another example. This is a red line for me and I'm leaving this job or this relationship if you cross it. So the first step is set the boundary. But here's where most people fail. They set the boundary and then immediately cave when it's tested. Your next step must be to enforce it. Upholding a boundary is where the rubber meets the road. Let's say you tell your coworker you can't work overtime. Then they guilt trip you. Do you cave or do you stand firm? Tell them, I understand you're in a bind, but I've already made plans. Then suggest something else they could do. Stay firm, respectful, and solution-oriented. And while the person you're talking to might get upset and might get angry at you, remember, you don't have to do the same. This brings us to one of the most powerful concepts in Stoicism. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Let's break it down. You can't control if your boss is a micromanager. You can control how you react to that micromanaging. See the difference? Other people's toxicity is not yours. Controlling someone outside our control is like trying to steer a runaway shopping cart. You can scream at it, shove it, but it's going to roll its own way, right? Forget changing them. Focus on your grip. You control your reactions, your choices. That's where your power lies. This leads to a crucial question that most people never ask themselves. Is someone else really making you angry? Or are you choosing anger? There's a difference. It's easy to blame other people for our feelings, but it's a temptation we should resist. Stoicism challenges us to do it. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been." He also said, "The best revenge is not to be like our enemies." Now, sometimes your life or physical safety may be on the line, and you'll have to use stronger measures. But most of the time, we're not dealing with that type of situation. A disagreement with a friend, a parent, or a co-worker is not that type of situation. If the situation isn't too serious, try detachment. This is about creating space between the trigger, someone else's behavior, and your reaction. Epictetus taught, "You will continue to suffer if you have an emotional reaction to everything that is said to you." So, try to not do that. Imagine a shield. Each toxic word is an arrow. Detachment is the shield deflecting the arrow. The arrow still flies, it's still there, but it doesn't pierce you. If someone is shooting an emotional arrow at you, ask, "Is this my emotion, or am I borrowing it from the person aiming at me?" If someone yells at you, that's their choice. But if you can control that situation by leaving, that may be the most effective solution of all. People choose to get angry. They choose to boil. Stoics believe you can do better, but detachment alone isn't enough. You need something to guide your responses, a North Star to keep you on track. You can start by establishing your values. As Seneca said, "Let us train ourselves to desire what is good, so that we become accustomed to not knowing how to want anything bad." To get the whole view, let's review the traditional Stoic values. They are wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. Wisdom is seeing the whole chessboard, using your resources in the best way for those times when it matters. Is this battle worth fighting? Then there's justice. Imagine someone is being awful. Do they deserve your kindness? Stoicism flips the script. Justice isn't about them. It's about you. It's about your character. Can you act justly all of the time? We know other people can't, but can you? That's the challenge. That's the test. Then comes courage. The courage to set that boundary. The courage to walk away. It's about inner strength, a quiet resolve that says, "My well-being matters." Finally, there's temperance. Think of those times when you feel the unrestricted urge to lash out or fire back an insult. That's your emotions hijacking the controls. Temperance is the pilot. It's the steady hand on your emotional controls, acting not out of instinct, but after thought. You should prioritize your reactions over other people's. And in the same sense, prioritize your values over theirs. As Marcus Aurelius said, we all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. So start caring about your own opinion more. Speaking of caring for yourself, here's something most people completely overlook when dealing with toxic relationships: self-care. Here's the deal. Battling negativity is exhausting. It's like running a marathon uphill, in sand. You're spending energy. You're struggling. Are you refueling? I'm going to guess you're probably not. We get so caught up in managing the drama and defending our boundaries that we forget the one person we absolutely control: ourselves. Stoicism is about being like a resilient oak, bending but not breaking. But even oaks need sunshine and water. Do you give yourself that? First, recognize when you're under stress. Acknowledge the toll. Say it out loud. This is hard. Then, treat yourself like you'd treat a friend who is going through the same thing. What would you say to someone who is trying to recover? You might say, get some rest. Exercise is another answer, and a good one. It's not just the endorphins. It's about reclaiming your body, your space, your time. It's a statement. I am worth this. Other times, self-compassion means doing less, saying no to everything, even good things, and just being, like a vacation you give yourself. Because self-care isn't another to-do list item. It's the foundation on which everything else is built. So be kind to others, but especially to yourself. It's important. But what happens when you've tried all of these techniques and none of them work? Imagine you've tried talking to the difficult person. You've set boundaries. You've paused before responding. You've spent time away. And still, no improvement. If that's the case, it's time to consider ending that relationship. Can you win every argument? Change every person? Absolutely not. Some relationships are like trying to fill a bucket with holes. It's never enough. If you're constantly giving, constantly compromising, and getting nothing back, that's a red flag, waving furiously. Ask yourself, is this relationship consistently draining my energy? Is there a pattern of disrespect, manipulation, or abuse that never seems to change? You don't have to be a martyr. Sometimes, the wisest thing you can do is to prioritize your own well-being. As Seneca said, you should associate with people who improve you. And if they don't, you shouldn't associate with them. If you've reached this point, you need to exit gracefully and protect yourself in the process. Tell this person you've tried, but you need time away from this relationship, or you need to end it. Think of it as removing a splinter. Swift, clean, and necessary. The longer it stays, the more it festers. So pull it out cleanly and safely. First, be clear. I've thought about this, and I need to end our relationship. Simple, direct. Second, keep it about you. Not you're toxic, but I need a healthier environment. Third, prepare for the storm. They might rage, cry, or manipulate. Remember, their reaction is about them, not you. Fourth, remember your boundaries. Don't get drawn into arguments. Acknowledge their feelings. I hear you're upset, but stand firm in your decision. And fifth, no post-breakup drama. Resist the urge to explain, defend, or retaliate. You have the choice to say nothing to outrageous claims or goading insults, especially when the whole reason is to get a rise out of you. Ending a relationship is never easy, but a proper exit protects you and honors the past. Because sometimes the most virtuous action is walking away. Now, I know this all sounds pretty heavy, so here's a perspective shift in a lighter direction that might surprise you. Not every scenario is the worst-case scenario. In many situations, there is still hope. Your difficult relationship may be salvageable in some situations. It sounds like a contradiction. But in moderation, difficult situations can be teachers. Think of them as a pressure test for your Stoic principles. Can you remain calm under fire? Can you practice justice even when they're being unfair? It's easy to be virtuous when everyone is nice. The real challenge, the real growth, comes from the test. Think of difficult people as your personal training ground for emotional mastery. If what they do is only a little annoying, considering learning to accept it better. Now, I'm not saying you should thank people for being awful. What I am saying is, shift your perspective. Marcus Aurelius was a big believer in this. He said, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they can't tell good from evil." Seneca also taught this. He said, "To bear trials with a calm mind robs misfortune of its strength and burden." So if you're in a tough situation with someone, reflect on how the situation can make you stronger, and how even if they are bad, you can be better. And understanding why someone is being difficult can help too. You can use empathy judiciously when it's appropriate. Empathy should not be confused with weakness. Understanding why someone's acting like a total jerk isn't the same as saying it's okay. Think of it like this. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Your first instinct might be rage, but maybe they're rushing to the hospital. Does that excuse bad driving? Does understanding it change your reaction? It does. It's about seeing the human, even in the toxic. It means understanding the source of chaos so you can better protect yourself from it. In many cases, empathy can diffuse conflict. It doesn't always work, but when it does, it can help. And sometimes, getting justice on your behalf has to take a back seat. For example, you may have a job where you need the money, and you need to get along with a difficult customer. This is a good time to use empathy. You want to stay in control because you need something else more than you need justice right now. As Epictetus said, any person capable of angering you becomes your master. And remember, you don't have to face this alone. In fact, trying to handle everything by yourself is often a mistake. If someone is really difficult to be around or to deal with, you could consider involving someone else. Even Marcus Aurelius had advisors. Stoicism isn't about isolation, it's about strength. Sometimes, strength is knowing when to ask for backup. Friends, family, people who've been there, they're your lifeline. A sounding board for reality. A reminder that you're not crazy. They are. But if talking to friends and family isn't enough, there's no shame in seeking help beyond them. If, after all your efforts, you're still feeling stuck, consider calling for professional help from someone who does that for a living. Think of a coach or a therapist as strength training for emotional resilience. A person like that can give you objective tools to cope, to set boundaries, to even see your own patterns in these toxic interactions. That's power, and you should turn to it if you need it. Your goal is to be improving all the time, using all the resources available to you. Whether it's friends, family, professional help, or even a camping trip, do whatever you need to do better in this life. Now, let's talk about the reality of long-term practice. Because life is a journey, and the journey is long. Here's the truth. Mastering Stoicism, or even life, is not a weekend job. It's a lifelong practice. Think of it like lifting weights instead of winning the lottery. And here's something else to remember as you embark on this journey. This isn't easy. There will be setbacks, Days when you feel like you're back at square one. That's okay. Acknowledge it. Learn from it. And keep going. Because Stoicism isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about getting a little bit better every day. A little more resilient. A little more at peace. We can be like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius. We all can, and we can use our minds to it. And while we're discussing our abilities, let's return to our foundation of support, the people you surround yourself with, the environment you're in. A positive support system is your emotional Kevlar. So think about everyone you know. Who lifts you up? Who drains you? Cut the cord on the bad relationships, but preserve the good ones. Move away from a bad place if it's making things worse. Fill your life with people and things who amplify your best self. With the right values, the right support, and the right people in your corner, you can push difficult people away and pull good people closer. If this video helped you take back control of your life, leave a comment below sharing which strategy resonated most with you. Your insight might be exactly what another viewer needs to reclaim their own throne. And remember to subscribe for more Stoic wisdom that builds mental strength and practical resilience. As Epictetus said, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Use these teachings to deal with difficult people as thousands have before you. The power is yours. Use it today.